I'm Tama from Houston PetSet, co-president, along with
Tina Lundquist-Faust, co-president of Houston PetSet. Good morning, Dr. Eick.
Good morning.
Yes, we're with Dr. Eick this morning, Rollin Vets. Do you want to tell us the official name of the mobile unit and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure, yeah, so we are Rockin Pets, Rollin Vets, formerly known as South by South Vets. We did have to change our name a couple of years ago. So we're a full service mobile practice that services the greater Houston metro area, the Woodlands, and we'll be expanding into Austin and Dallas this year. Austin probably in Q2, Dallas we hope in Q3. So
Wow.
we basically can do everything that you would normally have done at a traditional brick and mortar practice, except hospitalized, because we're 100% mobile. But we have X-ray machines, we have surgical suites, we can do dentistry, blood work, full wellness. We have a full pharmacy on board. So it really is just a moving clinic. And so we bring the clinic to your driveway.
That's fabulous. So you just make appointments like I would if I wanted my dog to go in and be seen for a little paw injury or something. I could call you instead of driving him to the vet. You show up at my house and he comes out, and that's fabulous. That's really great. I bet people love the convenience of that.
They do. I just left an appointment this morning, and I'm out in the Woodlands market today, and she, was talking about how I just got so tired of taking the dog to the vet, and it's just hours, between putting him in the car and getting there and waiting for everything and checking out and getting back home. And I said, okay, great. We're going to take her out to the truck and we'll see you in 10 minutes. We're done in 10 minutes. I mean, she's like, what?
Yeah.
This is 10 minutes. I mean, it's a wellness appointment. Certainly if your animal's injured or ill, it's going to take longer, but it still saves all the time of travel, getting them into the car, waiting, right? Like you're in a, traditional clinic. And not that we love our brick and mortar partners. They're always going to be, helpful, but it's when you're in a brick and mortar practice, you have a lot of things going on at the same time. Clients waiting, animals in the back that are either recovering from surgery or sick. And, the benefit for us, one of the things that I love so much about this model is that I can focus on the one animal that I have in front of me at a time and do everything I need to do for that one animal, speak to that client, right, get everything done, and then that animal's done.
Right. Well, and I think about my dogs. I have one that loves to get in the car. I mean, if he can get out the door and the car door is open, I can't get him out of the car. He would sleep there, I think. And then I've got one that he looks at the car and he starts shaking. So for that little guy, going to the vet, the trauma of getting in the car, riding there, shaking and crying, and then going to the vet, that's a horrible experience for him from the beginning to the end. So if I were, next time I'm going to call you, hopefully you'll have appointments and I can walk him out the front door and you can meet bitey little Vinny.
I love it. Yeah, and we're, there are dogs that don't love to get into our truck either. They don't. But it's 10 minutes versus 2 hours.
Yeah,
and for cats, it's a whole different ballgame. I mean, we saw 2 cats today, 2 that I've never seen, and she was like, I can't believe how good this cat is behaving for you. We were able to get blood from her. I mean, because she said she never behaves at the vet, right? She's been labeled an aggressive cat, and she was fine. It's because you don't get them to that stress level of 10 before they ever reach the clinic.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10, when a cat has had to be completely sedated at a vet clinic its whole life, we actually don't have to do anything. Maybe give it a little gabapentin, but we don't have to do anything because they're not getting to that, I'm at a stress level of 10 and now you can't touch me, kind of scenario for them. So for cats, this is a great model. Senior pets that really just is so much trouble to get them into the car and out of the car, big dogs, multiple animals, people with kids, right? Like people with children and animals, it's hard to corral everybody at the same time. So, we're just here to kind of serve that niche and make it just easier for everybody, not just the animal, but for the owners as well. I mean, it's just night and day how much easier it is.
I'm just seeing the beauty of this. Like, why am I not doing this? But I love my vets so much. I love them. They know my animals and stuff. So, but as my senior pit bull ages, how am I going to get him in my car? Right now I can't imagine having to lift him up and get him in. So, so many benefits.
For us is large breed dogs that are having trouble getting up. It's just getting them into the car to get them there, and that's kind of where we can come in and help.
Dr. Eick, how did you get into the mobile veterinary business? How did this start?
Well, so I owned a brick and mortar practice in Virginia before I moved to Texas. And a friend of mine who is a vet in Roanoke, Virginia, Dr. Melanie Provo, she had one of these big units. I mean, I'm standing in my unit right now. It was the first time I had ever seen a mobile clinic. And she brought it over to my practice, and I just thought, that is the bee's knees. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I already did a lot of house calls for my clients there, but just out of my car. Always wanted to add mobile to it, but as a solo practitioner in that clinic, I just never could do it. It's, we were so busy just doing our brick and mortar. And so I sold that practice in 2010 and moved to Texas. And I thought, if I ever open another business, it'll be a mobile only practice. And so that's what I did. Moved to Austin first, thought I would die in Austin. Then I met my now fiance, Mike, who I adore, and ended up in Houston, which I'm so happy about. But when I first moved to Houston, I did relief work and just continued to see the signs that this was a place where people needed help. I mean, the day that it really cemented into my brain, I was working relief in a practice, and the woman had come in to pick up her sick animal with 3 kids in tow. She got out the door without her medication, and we called her and said, hey, you forgot your medication. And she said, he's just gonna have to do without it. There's no way I'm putting these 3 kids back in the car and coming back up there and getting that medication. And I thought, this is where we come in, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't ever have to put all 3 kids in the car and bring the dog in. We can do whatever we need to do. Or if she leaves it, we'll just run back by and drop it back off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we started this in 2016, again, under the name South by South Vets, which I thought was brilliant, but
It is.
we had to change the name. And, just have loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
It's a different day every time we go out, right? We're going into different houses. We get to build really close relationships with our clients because we're in their house. I can see what their pet's eating. I can see if they have toxic plants in their yard, right? I can see what their environment is like, and are there behavior issues that maybe are attached to something in their environment.
Mm-hmm. I can see why you're growing so quickly. I mean, it makes sense to me. So that's great. Okay. Well, you might have some new clients knocking on your door.
We've worked with you. Houston PetSet has worked with you, Dr. Eick. Can you talk a little bit about how you support the nonprofits in Houston, the ones helping animals, and how we've worked together?
Yeah. So we have some great nonprofit partners, rescues, shelters, PetSet. We are about to do a microchipping event with Houston PetSet.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping that maybe we can add vaccines to that as well to make it just a little bit more impactful for the community. One of the first things that we did here in Houston as a community outreach program was when Hurricane Harvey hit.
Mm-hmm.
When Mayor Turner said that animals could go in with their owners into George R. Brown, it became the first cohabitation shelter in the history of the United States. There were co-location shelters out there where the people would go into one place, the animals could stay, but they had to go into another place. And so the people and the animals were separated. And so George R. Brown was our first cohabitation shelter. And it worked beautifully. But what we did was, because we were mobile, I had all the supplies in my truck. I just went to my office and basically did this. We swept everything off into the truck, went up to George R. Brown, and with Friends for Life Animal Shelter and Bark, we set up basically a triage station. And so all these animals coming in, many of them were not injured because they had been evacuated with their owner, but they had chronic diseases. They were not vaccinated. So we were able to get everybody vaccinated, address some of their skin diseases, their ears, things like that. What was amazing to me in that shelter was how quiet it was. Mm-hmm. Those animals were calm. Everybody had a bed and a crate, and they stayed with their humans, and it was so quiet and, really went off without a hitch. So that was one of the first things that we did here in Houston. We've done, things like going and seeing foster animals out at like the Houston Dog Ranch, or we do a lot of work with Animal Justice League with some of their fosters. Sometimes we'll go and help with heartworm injections for animals that are heartworm positive. So, but we're really excited about the partnership with PetSet and getting these microchip and vaccine events going to help the people that are living in underserved areas. We can't only do that and focus solely on sort of the veterinary deserts, but as our staff grows and our fleet grows, we have more availability just of, supply of doctors, technicians, and trucks that we can go out now and really start doing some more regular community outreach programs. We've worked with TVMF before, doing their Animals programs, which we love. So we're really excited about just being able to give back in a very meaningful way. One of the other things that we do right now, we just started, is our memorials for all of our patients that pass away during a quarter. We plant a tree in their honor.
Oh,
So
nice.
we get a tree planted for them in the memory of the pet, but also we're helping to offset some of the carbon footprint that we're putting out there into the world. So we're excited about that partnership as well with one tree planted.
Thinking about
Beautiful.
everything. That's
Yes.
beautiful. Thank you. Well, I have to ask, and if this is uncomfortable or we don't want this in the podcast, we can cut it out. But are the
Okay.
prices basically the same as any vet office?
We're very similar,
Yeah.
right? Like, what people don't understand about mobile is they think, oh, you don't have a building, so therefore your prices must be cheaper. Well, we do have a building. We
Yeah.
rent a big warehouse to house 7 trucks.
Mhm.
We have multiple x-ray machines. So this x-ray machine behind me, this is our x-ray machine, the system is $50,000.
Wow.
So most clinics have 1 x-ray machine. We have 4,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? We have cold lasers. Most clinics have 1. We have 2 right now. We'll be getting a 3rd. Those are $30,000 a piece. So what we need for people to understand is it's not that we're just charging more because we're mobile and for the convenience, right? It's because we have multiples of everything in
Yeah.
order to serve our patients better.
Makes sense.
And so it actually costs me more to run this practice than it ever would for me to run a
Yeah.
brick and mortar practice.
Yeah.
So
And
I've done
ga-
both.
gas
Oh, yeah.
prices now even. I mean,
Gas prices
yeah.
are crazy. You
Yeah.
know what? Tires. In
Yeah.
2 weeks, I have put 10 new tires on
Oh,
these trucks.
gosh. Wow.
And
Yeah.
especially with all the construction going
Yep.
on, I mean, nails and tires, yeah.
Yes.
We
Yep.
spend a lot of money on tires, generator service, air conditioners that break. It's an expensive proposition. So we try to keep it as close to a
Mhm.
traditional brick and mortar as possible. But like, this is the first year that we've actually significantly raised our prices, and it's not even significant. So we went from $75 exam, including your trip fee, to $105 for the people that live within the first 10 miles of our office.
Mhm.
So we've raised our prices in 6 years, $30.
Wow. Yeah.
So not significant amounts
Right,
of pricing,
right.
but we have a team of people who analyze our costs, and unfortunately, veterinary medicine costs money, and it is a business, and we have to stay in
Absolutely.
business.
You have to
Absolutely.
be sustainable. Yeah.
Right.
You're not going
Right.
to be around if you're not. It so
Right,
makes sense. And
exactly.
we run a transport bus and a spay neuter mobile unit, so we know
Yeah.
all about
expensive.
generators and catalytic converters and all those things.
Tires.
You don't want to talk about that. People
Yeah.
just think, oh, wow, it costs $10,000 for one transport. But you've got to factor in wear and tear on our equipment, our bus, the kennels, the cleaning supplies, the staff to do all of it.
Yeah.
It's an expensive proposition when you get on the road and start doing anything.
Especially
Yeah.
when you want to insure all of that too. You know,
Yeah,
insurance.
then you have the insurance, and I mean, our insurance is thousands and thousands and
Yes.
thousands of dollars every month. I mean, it's people don't recognize all the hidden costs,
Yeah.
right, of
Right.
running a business
Yeah.
like this, and there are a lot, and I didn't know it either. I mean, I had a brick and mortar practice. It's shocking. It was kind of shocking to me how much more expensive this practice is, than doing my brick and mortar. But
Yeah.
again, I have 4 x-ray machines, 2
Mhm.
lasers, like there 4 surgery suites, 4 dental machines. I mean, those dental machines are $5,000 a piece.
Yeah.
So it's those things add up. But we still try to keep our costs, as low as we possibly can, and stay in business and be
Yeah.
able to pay our staff well. And we
Yeah.
pay all of our staff well above industry standard.
Yep. Well, we can see again why you're growing, why you're adding mobile units, and obviously you're doing something right, and people are loving you if you continue to add mobile units and services to this area and other areas too. So you've been such a great friend to Houston PetSet and a lot of rescue organizations, Dr. Eick. You've helped us so much. I know when we set up our mobile unit, you were there to help us. So thank you from the bottoms
you're
of our
welcome.
hearts, and thank you for talking with us today too.
We're
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're very much looking forward to our chip event, our microchip event.
Yes.
We're super excited about that, and I think the timing of this podcast will be just about right to announce that. Is that right, Lisa? So we're excited to be able to offer free microchips to the community, and thank you for partnering with us on that. Thank you.
And it would
Yeah,
be great
no,
to add
we're-
the vaccines too.
Yes.
It would
Yeah,
be
add the
so great.
vaccines,
Let's
too.
talk
Yeah.
about that.
I think we just should.
Yep.
As long as we have those animals in-house, we
Yes.
might as well do as much as we can.
Absolutely.
Throw in a
Right.
spay and neuter or two.
I know, right? I wish we could. We could.
Do you do spay neuters on the mobile unit?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. We do spay neuters, kind of routine soft tissue surgeries. If
Mhm.
it's something that's more involved, we could do it in here, but things like foreign body removals, they need to be hospitalized
Yeah.
after the surgery.
course.
So for us, it's just like, we have great partner hospitals that we love
Yeah.
that we just refer those patients to. But spay neuter, dentistry, we do a lot of dentistry, mass removals, x-rays. A lot of times we have to have sedated x-rays. We did one of those on Sunday. So it's, anything like that that's sort of where they can recover and then go back into their house
Yeah.
where they're not going to have any post-op complications. We'll do those, but we try to send anything else over to our partner brick and mortar hospitals.
Well, thank you for taking so much time out of your busy day for us, and good luck today. Stay safe
Thank
in the
you.
woodlands. We'll
Thank
talk
you,
to you
Dr.
soon.
Eick. See you soon.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank
Nice to
you.
see y'all.
You too.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.